Do I look like a gardener to you? I am a better, I am not a gardener. Hedging is for gardens. How does your garden grow?
With plus money.
With plus money. Hedging is for gardens.
Welcome everyone to Betting Weekly Live. It's Tuesday, the 21st of October. You with Steve Wyss and Nigel Seeley. And it is the return of the Champions League again. Exciting times, Nigel. The Yellow Jackets are on. It's that time of the week again. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I still can't get rid of this sore throat that I've had for a bit of a while. I've had this bit of a bug. But other than that, and other than my volume playing up at this moment in time, I'm all right. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well. I'm not too bad at all. Feeling ready to go, you know what I mean? Feeling in the mood for some winners. Sorry to hear about your throat.
Sorry about that.
Too much karaoke, maybe. I don't know.
Never done it before. Wouldn't know anything about it. But there you go.
Welcoming everyone. Put your best bets in chat today. Leslie, Matt, good to see you. He's now saying officially over. It's time to lock in after the observation periods and be a bit stronger with the picks. Good point.
I mean, when I very first, I think I've told this story many times before, but when I very first started working in the world of sports betting, which was a long time ago, 1990 was my very first job in sports betting. It was an old guy I met, and he was a very good soccer bettor, really good soccer bettor. And he said he would never have a bet until after November the 5th. Over here we have Guy Fawkes night, bonfire night. And after that, that's when he said he had his bets. So that was always a good something to you look. It's always, if you can be about level going into this time of the year, you've done all right. And then you should kick on when we get to November time. So there's no excuses from now on.
Yeah, one of the pros I used to work with was the same. He didn't bet in August and September. He just like paper tested bets, and then started to get cracking after that. So yeah, it's a strategy which has worked. Ming Chun, good to see you. I really like that under as well, by the way. Byron does too. Good to see you. Dante, Rory Giovanni deserves a knighted for his obscure tennis picks. He was a great winner for Rory Giovanni today. Sir Rory Giovanni.
I don't think he would accept it if we offered it. I think he's massively against the establishment. I don't think Rory Giovanni would ever accept being a sir. No way.
Real Brandon King, good to you. Going to be a great day. Cashing the Champions League bankers. ZT Lamb Sauce, good to see you as well. He's got a parlay there, plus 700 one that he's put up. Loads of teams involved. Stephen Hall, Villa fan, good to see you as always. Tobias Blinker, got everyone in chat. But it's Champions League back, and we've got some house specials from Bet Rivers today. The first one is actually the Profit Boost Pack, and I mentioned this before. Log into your Bet Rivers account every UEFA Champions League match day to receive a Profit Boost Pack, which consists of 25% boosts. One for live UCL wagers, one for same game parlays, and one is an open UCL boost. So you can receive one of these profit boost packs per match day. So make sure you get it. There is a daily boost as well. This is in the PSG game. Ousmane Dembele to score and the match to go over 3.5 goals. And that is boosted to plus 250. So we'll come to that match when we approach it. But as always, we'll go through the games, some in more detail than others. And as always, we start with the early fixtures. Actually, we don't start with the fixtures yet. We start with the table. John, the graphics guy behind the scenes, John has done a great job here. And that is the state of affairs. 4 teams without a point on the board, and there are about half a dozen teams with maximum in the standings. So the whole ultimate aim is to get into the top 24. If you're not in the top 24, you are knocked out. Still a long way to go. 6 matches remaining. The first early kickoff today is at 12:45 Eastern Time. Barcelona against Olympiakos. Barcelona minus 455. A Barcelona team not been amazingly convincing of late. Olympiakos nearly 12-1 to win. Still issues ongoing getting them back into the new camp, Nigel. And this match will be at the Olympic Stadium again. The latest date that I've heard that they can go back to the new camp is the 23rd of November, where they're hoping to get 45,000 capacity. Now, it's not really a big problem when you're facing Olympiakos, but this Camp Nou thing is a bit of a distraction. They should beat Olympiakos, shouldn't they? But they've not been overly convincing of late.
No, they haven't. But they got beat by Paris Saint-Germain, didn't they? Last time out in the Champions League at home, which is disappointing for them. A very, very embarrassing Seville defeat 4-1 there. Fortunate against Girona last time out, but this is the kind of match that you want. My only worry about them, I think they'll win this match. They're minus 455. They opened up minus 435 at Bet Rivers, so there has been a little bit of money for them into minus 455. My only concern for them, obviously, and I'm going to say something I say quite regularly, is that they got the El Clasico at the weekend, which is a massive, massive, massive match. So I think that is going to be in the way of thinking here in terms of their selection, especially in mid-game selection. If they're 1-0 up with 25 minutes goal, 2-0 up, complete cruise control, are they going to put the foot on the gas and go for 3, 4, whatever? And also, though, if you look at Olympiakos, Olympiakos haven't scored a goal yet in this Champions League. Very disappointing against Pafos in the opening day, drawing 0-0 at home. Was clearly second best against Arsenal, losing 2-0. But they've got a decent match at the weekend as well, at home to AEK, which is a top of the table clash, second and third. So they've got big games at the weekend, both of these sides here. Where am I looking at this one? The handicap is 2. The total goals is 3.5, I believe, with Bet Rivers here. The total goals, I think, if you're playing the under total goals, effectively, I genuinely believe you're playing Barcelona total. I just can't see Olympiakos scoring in my opinion. But under 3.5 goals here is minus 124. But the best bet for me is Barcelona to win to 0. It's minus 104. You get minus 455 on them on the money line. They're minus 104 to win to 0. Under 3.5 is minus 124. If you weigh all those three prices up, if you think that Barcelona will have a fairly comfortable evening this evening, as I do, Olympiakos don't really offer anything as an attacking threat. Greek sides for years and years and years on the road in European football have always been pretty poor. They haven't scored a goal in the Champions League. The chance of scoring against Barcelona pretty slim, although Barcelona do concede. We've seen that quite a lot this season, concede a lot of goals. But I think Barcelona with El Clasico will put a professional job on here. I'm looking at maybe 2-0, 3-0 Barcelona. But instead of playing the under 3.5 at minus 124, I'm prepared to take the Barcelona to win to 0 at minus 104. Not an official play, but we start off with a lean in the early kickoff in Barcelona at Olympiakos.
Yeah, it's not a match I'm going to get involved in myself, and I can't really disagree with what you said there. Lamb Sauce coming with the Barca money line under 4.5 also looks quite a good play, to be fair. That match of the weekend is just going to be in their minds, isn't it? Once they've got the lead, there's no need for them to rack up the score here unless they want to try and make a statement, which some weeks they might want to do that, but with El Clasico on the horizon, it's a huge thing. Olympiakos have been disappointing, like you said. They couldn't even beat 10-man Pafos at home.
Yeah. Well, that was a big game. Obviously, the Greek Cypriot angle, first match of the Champions League. It was a match that both of them and Pafos ran their socks off in that match. But have you ever ran your socks off? I've never ran my socks off, but I ran with socks off. But it was a very, very. I just don't see how they can score goals. I think that their top level is way below Barcelona. I know Barcelona can see team news tonight is going to be crucial. They obviously still know Yamal. That's going to be an issue for them. Rashford playing well out there, got an opportunity. I love Rashford as a player. I think that he's on set pieces, taking free kicks. You could look at that. But I just feel that Barcelona will just want to get 3 points in here, 2-0, 3-0, job done, and move on to the big game of the weekend, El Clasico. So, yeah, and Olympiakos as well, a big match for them as well. So, win to 0, minus 104 would be the way I'm going.
99% of the money and 96% of the tickets are on Barcelona. Just 78% of the money on the over. I say just. I expected that to be higher. But maybe the bettors out there are a bit dubious about Barca going huge today because of that game on the horizon. Stat that producer Troy gave me: Olympiakos have lost each of their last 11 Champions League matches away from home, and it would
always the way. But they are. So there you go. They're minus 455 on the money line. The handicap is 2. Would you be betting Barcelona ahead of the match against Real Madrid to go out and win by more than 2? I'm not quite sure if I would. And if you look at I think the best angle is that win to 0. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try have a look at the last. I think last year, if I can remember rightly, there was a Champions League match before El Clasico, And I'm going to see how Barcelona played in that match and see what if there was any relevance in terms of the way they played. But I win to nil with my angle here.
A few comments about yesterday's match, West Ham Brentford. The corners angle. I know quite a lot in chat were putting it up yesterday, and I did take Brentford most corners. I thought I'd given it up after 4 minutes. West Ham were like 3-0, 4-0 up in corners, but it ended up with a ridiculous number of corners in the whole game. West Ham were absolutely terrible, by the way. You were right, Nigel. I saw you tweet something, one of the worst performances I've ever seen in the Premier League for quite some time. But
I'm just looking at last year. Sorry, Steve. I'm just looking at last year's matches. I know there's probably very little relevance in it, but before Real Madrid played Barcelona last year, their match prior to that was a 2-0 win for Barcelona domestically. If you look at the end of the season, Barcelona played Real Madrid. There was the week before it was Inter beat Barcelona 4-3. So one rule of it in my favour, one rule against me in my favour. So I just think -104 for a -455 side that you expect to win it's too big a price difference for me to not to give a pick. So that would be my lean in this match. And talking about West Ham, dreadful, absolutely dreadful. I mean, Nuno's team selection was awful. They didn't have any spirit, didn't have any fight. They played players in the wrong positions, and Brentford are a bang average side. So West Ham have got big problems. Good news for your boys, Leeds, at the weekend.
Yeah, even I'm thinking we might beat him or have a chance of beating him. I wasn't confident at the weekend, but West Ham got massively improved from that. Anyway, back to the other early kickoff, 12:45 Eastern time. Kairat against Pafos. We go right to the Eastern Bloc here. A long trip for Pafos. They have to go nearly 5,500 kilometers, 11 hours on a plane, and then the favourites plus 148. I'm a little bit surprised by that.
They've been bet all day. There has been a big move for them. Almaty is a bit of negative in the market. Lots of money for Pafos. I think Dan Roebuck has been smashing out his money into them. I don't know why you wouldn't be betting them at this kind of price. I think this is a close to, if not a pick and match. I mean, Almaty at home, we know are quite formidable, but both of these, it's a massive match for both of these sides. Huge match. If you look at Almaty, they play Sporting Lisbon and Real Madrid. Pafos have played Olympiakos, which is a huge match for them, and then Bayern Munich. But this here must be the biggest game in terms of opportunity for these two sides. The money they're going to win if they win this match. Was it about $3 million? Is it $3 million to win this match?
I mean, you're looking on at least $2.5 million for any group stage win. I mean, for some of these teams, for Kairat, that's a massive thing for their transfer budget. Pafos as well. And it's a huge amount, and this is a very winnable game for both. Will they both go for it? Do you think, Nigel? I mean, sometimes in these sort of games, I feel like they go really tight and cagey, or it goes a bit bonkers.
I think he'll go bonkers in the second half. I think this is a perfect in-play match. I think they might size each other up. There's a lot of money at stake here, and that will change their futures for the next couple of years. That kind of money. So $3 million at stake. If you look at their league fixtures, they're probably not going to win many other opportunities for both of these two sides to have a go at each other. So they're really going to go at it. I think second half it will explode a little bit. I know a lot of states across America don't offer the bookings, and obviously we talk about bookings quite a lot here, but there is a little bit of an angle in here. There is Chris Kavanagh, the English referee, is the guy who's in charge today. 44 bookings and 44 yellows and 1 red this season for him in 12 matches. So averaging around about 4 per game. In his last Champions League match, he gave 3 in the Inter Milan against Slavia Prague match. In the Europa League this season, he refereed Utrecht against Servette when he gave 8 cards. I got a feeling this could really turn into a feisty affair in the second half, but the line is reflecting on that. The averages are a lot lower than what the line is. You've got to go over 4.5 at minus money. You've got to go 5.5 at big money. So I think that Bet Rivers have got the same idea as where we're coming at. If you have the opportunity to bet and play on the cards, I think if it's quite a close and cagey first half, which I expect this to be, I think in the second half, this could explode into some kind of frenzy because there's a lot of money at stake. And this will be like a cup final for both these sides. Forget about, this is the reason why the Champions League changed this league format to give these kind of clubs a huge amount of money and an incentive to play against each other and really change their fortunes. And I think in the second half, they'll go for it. And I think this will come alive in the second half. So I'm looking at angles first half, second half to have more goals than first half. In play over 1.5 if it's 0-0 at half time, or if it's low scoring at 1.5. It's an in play bet for me. This Pafos have been bet. I'm not really quite understanding that given the travel situation. Almaty obviously don't really score many goals in the Champions League. They scored one against Sporting Lisbon, got hammered by Real Madrid. That 0-0 match against Celtic, which, given Celtic's form, isn't really a huge shock. But I think this match is definitely in play, and second half we'll see this come alive.
Yeah, I'm not going to be ever betting teams away from home against Kairat unless they're a really good team, and Pafos are not in that bracket. So for me, I thought Tino bet on Kairat looked quite a good lean at +102. There's a player proper light in this game, and his name is Valery Gromkio for a shot on target, -104 for Kairat. It's weird how I've watched quite a lot of their games, and he's definitely been one of the biggest threats. And he'll play on the left wing, and in a sort of match where there's a lot at stake, I think people want to be heroes and give it a crack. But this is I
do think though the financial incentive for this side changed the complexion of the whole game. If it wasn't for that kind of money in these kind of clubs, it would be a non-event. But it's such amount of money to play for that they're going to put it in. And I think second half, it will go up. But the line is factored it. The Bet Rivers line is factored it. So way higher than what the average of the referee does and the clubs as well. And I just think this could be. If you look at, I looked at their form. So against Almaty against Sporting Lisbon, they got 6. There were 6 total yellow cards in that match. Real Madrid 2. And in Pafos' match against Olympiakos, there was 6 in that one, and 1 against Bayern Munich. You can definitely understand why the unders and only 1 and 2, because Bayern Munich beat them 5-1 and they were huge favourites. So that usually the intensity of the match drops. And Real Madrid were huge favourites against Almaty, and there was only 2, and Real Madrid won 5-0. But the other matches, the Olympiakos match is a 6 cards, and that gives me some kind of hope for over 4.5. And the Sporting one was 6, which was a bit of a what you wouldn't expect, given that Sporting Lisbon won that 4-1.
Well, there's livelihoods at stake because, let's be honest, there's probably bonuses behind the scenes for these players if they win a match in the Champions League. So, yeah, it's a matter of life and death for some of them out there. It's going to be crucial, and we'll see how, if the fireworks do develop in the Kairat match against Pafos. Like you said, there has been money for Pafos today. 77% of the money on the money line is on them. And there's actually 72% of the money on the over for this game. Probably just due to the odds, I think. The underline is quite low. It's around about 2.25 territory. It wouldn't surprise me if he went over goals just because of what is at stake. But it could equally be a 0-0. Okay, so looking through some of the comments here. A bit of Barcelona team news. Rafinha is out. I think Yamal is probably out. It might give him a bit of a run off the bench, but with El Clasico coming up, they've got to protect their players. They won't be taking any risks. I don't think in that one. We move to the later fixtures now. Arsenal against Atletico Madrid. Arsenal -182 favourites. Atletico Madrid at +525. We've got a goal line at 2.5, Nigel. I think this could be quite a feisty affair myself. I'm not sure if I'm going to watch it, though, because Arsenal matches just completely bore me to death at the moment. So, yeah, that's the way I see it. I'm not seeing that many goals. I'm probably seeing quite a few cards. Are you having Arsenal at -182, though?
I wouldn't bet Arsenal at -182. The one thing, I think this is a really difficult one on the way to judge the match, because the way that if you had the Atletico Madrid of a few seasons ago, this would be a low-scoring 1-0 to the Arsenal kind of win. But Atletico Madrid this season have been very different. They've scored in every single one of their matches. Atletico Madrid, every single game this season. Obviously, that match against Liverpool where they come back from 2-0 down to push them all the way in a 3-2 defeat. 5-1 against Eintracht Frankfurt, another crazy goal-scoring matches. And they've got goals in them, and that is one thing they have. And their defensive frailties was always, their defensive strength was always what we associate with Atletico Madrid. But now they've got goals in them. Whereas Arsenal, I mean, their whole season, their whole championship campaign is all about their defensive rock solidness, their centre-back partnership, their goalkeeper, and their set pieces. So what are we expecting this one? I actually think, 8 of 9 Arsenal's wins this season have been to nil. And I can understand why people might think this could be low scoring, but I do think Atletico Madrid offer some kind of threat here. And I was quite surprised at if you look at the both teams to score market, it's -104 yes, -125 no. It's very rare that you get yes as a -104 shot. It's usually the other way around. Yes is always the bet. I knows the other way around. Yes is always the favourite. And I think I actually think both teams will score in this match. I've gone for -104 here. Both teams to score. I worry about the tracking. It depends on the team selection as well. I don't think Eze is a player. I think he's a luxury player. In a big game like this, I don't think he'll track back. He gives away a lot of chances when he doesn't, come back and track back for his defence. Zubimendi is obviously a different player. Rice is obviously more attacking this season. But I got a feeling here that Atletico Madrid will cause a threat and a goal-scoring threat. So I'm swimming against the tide in this one because everyone looks at Arsenal matches thinking 1-0. Everyone looks at Arsenal matches thinking they're going to defend for their life. But Atletico Madrid have scored in every match and they've gone to Anfield and scored 2. So I don't think they'll have anything to fear here. And I quite like them to score in this match. So I'm going to go for both teams to score, yes. You can bring in under 2.5 goals, if you think it's a 1-1 draw. But I don't think it's going to be as easy as the Arsenal suggests here. I think the price is a little bit too short. And I think that Atletico Madrid will get on the score sheet.
Lamsaw says, whoever takes Arsenal for these odds is crazy. Peter Chalkins, though, says Atletico no wins in 5 official matches on the road. If you're backing Atletico Madrid here, please just donate to charity, he says. So, interesting sort of conflict of opinions.
But we don't care about that. We just care whether to score. That's all we care about. I mean, there's a lot of people saying they won't score. But, I mean, like Arsenal just... I think when Arsenal play teams like West Ham at home, Nottingham Forest at home, and Leeds at home this season, those two, they've down tools before the match has even started. Champions League is different. It's slightly different. And I think Atletico Madrid will have a go at them. I do, I'm not quite 100% sure that Arsenal will be able to keep a clean sheet here. And I think the market is very factored into the fact that Arsenal are just going to turn up and win 1 or 2-0. And I'm not buying that. I think Arsenal will win it. But Arsenal in Europe are a slightly different proposition over the last couple of years. And I think that there might be a goal for Atletico Madrid here.
Yeah, I think for me, it still would be under 2.5 goals at -108 as a lean for this game. But I'm just kind of predicting that Atletico will not come here and have a go. If they come here and have a real good crack, then I think this is 100% a changed Atletico team. But they
did it at Liverpool. They went 2-0 down.
They did. But Liverpool, you'd have a go at Liverpool. You'd fancy getting at Liverpool.
You didn't know how bad. You didn't know how bad they were then. At the time, they were the best team in Europe. It's only happened in recent weeks. That match was in September. It was only like Liverpool hadn't won a match. Had won every single match before that match. They beat Bournemouth, beat Newcastle, beat Arsenal, beat Burnley, and then Atletico Madrid. That was now you'd have a go at Arsenal because you've seen them. Liverpool, because you've seen them lose 4 matches. I'm not sure. I think Simeone's a manager that will fancy it tonight, and I think he'll put it into.
Is he a manager that's changed his spots a bit, Simeone? Because to be fair, it's a lot different. I just wonder if he goes back into his shell for this particular affair. But anyway, let's get some data for the game. Which is Arsenal just 79% of the money on them and 71% of the tickets. So that isn't a huge amount. There is a bit of support there for Atletico Madrid as the dog. 83% of the money's on the over for the game. That slightly surprises me. But maybe the new Atletico Madrid is for real.
Well, Alvarez is a proper striker. He's got 6 goals already this season. One of the best players in the world in European football. I mean, I'd rather him being up front for me than Gyökeres, and I think Alvarez will be the biggest threat. So, be the man.
Abdul Hamid Bunyamin says, "Good day, gentlemen. Great call last weekend. I'm certainly going to be buying a house soon. Great job, lads."
Wow, Wendy house, Doll's house. I mean, can't be one made out of bricks from us, surely. It's got to be a doll's house. Surely.
Andres, good day, guys. Checking in from San Francisco by Let's Cash. And a good win for the 49ers the other night as well, Andres. Good to see you in chat. And Abdul Hamid was thinking a first half win for Barcelona.
Don't put the house on it. Don't put the house on it.
Get the job done in the first half.
Just leave it.
Byron Murray, Alvarez is a great striker, top 5 in the world. Perhaps he's saying. I do agree. I think Alvarez is a very, very good striker.
Yeah.
Rate him very, very highly. Okay, let's move on. PSV versus Napoli. I've got nothing for this game at all, Nigel, apart from always concern when Conte is away from home in the Champions League. I'm not sure about him still at this in this competition. They won last time out, of course, at home. A poor result for Napoli at the weekend as well. A bit of a surprise there at Torino. PSV can be absolutely anything on the day. You never know what version of them is going to show up at all. But I'm not sure I'd have them such a big dog plus 195. Not that I'm going to back them. Do you trust Napoli at plus 132 or not?
I don't, because Højlund is missing tonight, which is a big blow for them. Obviously, it's amazing that we're seeing Højlund as a big blow from after how poor he was at Manchester United, but he's been a revelation for Napoli, so he won't be playing tonight. De Bruyne will be there. McTominay will probably play as well. He's had an ankle injury, so he should be back tonight. But I think that there's a few goals in this match. De Bruyne are obviously pulling all the strings in midfield. PSV Eindhoven have got goals in them. Leverkusen was a 1-1 draw, obviously, and then they got that shock defeat against Union 3-1 in the early game of the season. I quite like the over 2.5. Not a very big price, but I think Napoli might be too strong. I think the Dutch league is a poor league, and I think Napoli on our ratings that we have here are quite high. The only thing that puts me off this match is that Napoli play Inter Milan at the weekend, and PSV have Feyenoord away, which again, this is a big factor for me. PSV are second, Feyenoord are top in the Dutch league, and over in Italy, Napoli are they second? I think they're second or third, and Inter Milan are right at the top as well. So they're third and second. So there are two big matches again at the weekend, which worries me slightly on the overs. But I just think that this could be, I think Napoli will probably edge it, and a very small lean for overs. But those two matches at the weekend do concern me. So no official play.
Yeah, that is a big game, obviously, coming at the weekend in the Dutch league. Jan Phillips says we are a decent league. Feyenoord, are they the best team for you in Holland this year, Jan? You would know better than me, probably, Jan Philip there. That is a huge contest for PSV with a 3-point gap. McTominay, someone's put up for the first goal scorer. Steve from Lynn, of course. McSauce to get on the score sheet for Napoli. I think it's a difficult game for me. PSV can be anything on the day.
I think Lukaku will be playing up front for them tonight, when he's had a lot of time out injury. So if he's fit enough to play, I'm not so sure. But Lukaku leading the line at the moment, Napoli, I'm not quite sure if it's the way you want to be going into a Champions League.
Well, he's been in. I'm not sure he is back yet.
There's talk of him starting tonight. Yeah, in replacement for Højlund, which is I think Kevin De Bruyne. If you were looking for somebody like, if you're on the Napoli train, Kevin De Bruyne will be the man for assist or a goal. That's where you got to go.
Yeah, Byron's on board with that. De Bruyne over 1.5 shots on target plus 270, which is certainly worth considering. 76% of the money is on Napoli, 80% of the tickets, and more money on the under for this game. 63% of the money is on the under, that surprises me. Must say, 69% of the tickets on the under as well.
I think that I genuinely do. I mean, I mention it quite a lot on these shows, and I must sound like a broken record, but I do think that the weekend schedules are really, really important, and I think that's because people make changes during the game. They sort of sit back and prepare themselves, and that's a lot of factor why a lot of people like the unders in matches where teams have big matches. And there's some huge matches across Europe this weekend at the top of the tables in all across European matches, which are going to make a factor in this match in this weekend's midweek card.
Biggest bet on the game is PSV under 4.5 corners. I don't know what that's telling you, but someone out there doesn't think that PSV are going to get many corners.
That's exactly what it's telling me. Someone thinks that PSV aren't going to get many corners. That's what it's telling me.
I'm just trying to think of like an insight. Why would that angle be an angle? That's just reporting some data there. Let's move to Germany by Leverkusen against PSG. Minus 150 for PSG here. Had that great win away against Barcelona, of course. Bayer Leverkusen at plus 400, who are going quite well under their new manager in terms of results, the former Denmark boss. And I do believe they're still actually unbeaten under his tenure. So whether Leverkusen might rope a few people in here at plus 400, I'm not sure. PSG, arguably still the best side in Europe, and they're getting the players back now, Nigel. There's not many left in that infirmary for PSG, which that doesn't bode well for Bayer Leverkusen, does it?
No, it doesn't. But Bayern Leverkusen offer a huge goal threat. They've got goals in this side. A new manager's come in and made them more attacking, which is interesting because they were one of the most attacking teams in European football anyway. I think there's goals in this match. I know the goal line is high, which is 3.5. You can bet the 3.5, which is plus 125. I actually like the Asian handicap line, or the Asian line here at 3, with exactly 3 a push. That's minus 130, so a little bit lower, but you get the insurance of having 3. I'll be really, really surprised if there isn't at least 3 goals in this match. If you look at the Champions League this season for Bayer Leverkusen, 2 matches, 2 draws, 1-1 and a 2-2. Paris Saint-Germain obviously won that great win last time out against Barcelona, and a 4-0 win against Atalanta. So there's lots of goals in their matches so far. I think the way this is set up, the players coming for Paris Saint-Germain, I think this screams goals. Over 3, minus 130. Get the insurance. Don't go greedy. You can play 3.5 if you want, but keep that 3 on your side. You don't want to be losing on 3. You want 3 on your side. So minus 130. Both teams to score as well interested me in this match as well. Obviously, Paris Saint-Germain conceded 3 at the weekend. Both teams to score here is a decent price as well. But I like goals. I really do like goals in this match. I think most of the German teams this season, if you're betting goals in them, you're not going to be far off. And both teams to score here is minus 190. So that shows you the kind of match you've got. You can bet minus 190, both teams to score, yes. Or you bet over 3 goals at minus 130. I think over 3 goals with a push is a much better bet.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Leverkusen matches have been out of control of late. That's one. The new manager just hasn't been able to get on top of dictating games fully in the whole 90 minutes. But it is interesting. They've only lost 1 match all season in all competitions, even with Erik ten Hag at the helm. I think this will probably be a loss, but they'll go down swinging, won't they, Leverkusen? They've got enough weapons to...
Byron's coming in a nice way there. Can we split the wager here and go for Paris Saint-Germain on the money line and over 2.5? I just you can do, but it wouldn't surprise me to see this match be a draw. You know, I just don't look. You look at what Paris Saint-Germain did last season in the group stage, in the table. They put their foot on the gas right at the end to get them up. They come through qualification in that playoff bit, and they didn't really take this seriously. And I'll be slightly worried about them at home. I think they'll steamroller people, but I think there's goals. I would hate it to be 2-2 or 3-3 and us lose money on that. So I'm probably more happy. If I was pushed, I'd probably go for the plus money on the 3.5 rather than the 3 on the Asian. So I'd just solely go for goals here because I'd be absolutely gutted to read it absolutely correct and it'd be a 3-3 draw or something like that. So yeah. I'm just going to go for, or like Paris Saint-Germain winning both teams to score, people are going for there, but I'm happy just to stick with the goals.
No, the tie is at plus 310, incidentally, for those who are interested in that one. 88% of the money on PSG, 85% of the tickets, over under money, 63% of the money's on the over there. Someone did put Achraf Hakimi for a shot on target, and that's the biggest player prop game, bet on the game, at plus 165. And he's always popular in that market. Vitinha, also another big player prop bet on the game, for a shot on target, plus 175. Hakimi's been one of the most go-to men in that market for a couple of years now. So that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I'm going to follow you in on that one, actually, Nigel, over 3 Asian goals here. I think you made a really good case.
I think there's got to be goals. I mean, this new manager just loves playing that style. They've been great to watch since he's in charge. And Paris Saint-Germain, we know they've got goals all over the pitch. You got to stop every single one of them. So, and that's what I like about Paris Saint-Germain. Shots on target, you can pretty pick anybody on the pitch, and the way they play, the way they intermove and interchange each other, I think you've got to see goals tonight.
And of course, the house special is in this game. As a reminder, if I just find it again, it is Ousmane Dembele to score in the match, and for over 3.5 goals, and that is boosted to plus 250. He is in line to come back. I don't know if he'll start or not, but that is the offer from Bet Rivers. And of course, don't forget, the Champions League profit boost pack. Log into your BetRivers account every Champions League match day to receive this profit boost. 3 25% boosts on live UCL wagers, a same game parlay boost, and the open UCL boost as well. So please do make sure you take advantage of that with BetRivers. You actually just mentioned German teams and overs, and you won't go far wrong. I actually like the under here. FC Copenhagen against Borussia Dortmund. Minus 132 favourites Borussia Dortmund. Copenhagen plus 360. They've already beaten a German team at home this season, I think.
They're minus 152 now, Borussia Dortmund. They've been the most bet team in the day. They've been very, very heavily bet.
They have been. I think there's some poor team news for FC Copenhagen, especially in attacking areas. But the one factor I am looking at here is the weather is not good in Copenhagen this evening. So I am factoring in the weather. I do like getting on under goals when the weather's involved. But for me, under 2.75 goals is what I'm looking at here at minus 134. For all of Dortmund's some crazy results this season, 4 of their last 5 games, they have gone under the main Asian goal line, including against Bayern at the weekend. So I'm not sure this Dortmund team, for the most part, are as gung-ho as some think. Tough place to go, Parkin. Would you bet against Copenhagen?
Well, first of all, I'm intrigued by the weather, because the weather I've got is light rain, about 13 degrees, 14 degrees, light rain and a gentle breeze.
Has it changed since I looked earlier?
I don't know. I don't know what you've got, but I mean, I've looking at here. It's saying tonight about 8 o'clock. There's a bit of lightning around at 7 o'clock local time. Then you've got light rain and gentle breeze. But anyway, they don't have to convince me to an under, Steve. I mean, I found this match the most trickiest match on the card. I just thought the Copenhagen obviously humiliated their last time out against Karabakh, losing 2-0 in that match. Since that match, they haven't won a game domestically as well. They're having a bit of a tough season, nowhere near the levels that they would expect. They're down in 4th in the Danish league, which is really bad by their standards. They've got a run of form. They've got 2 home games to come in the Danish league, which they need to win drastically. Dortmund are a side that I just feel that when they turn up, when that Champions League music turns on, they become a different animal. Absolute different animal. They're not the same side when they play in the domestic league and the Bundesliga to when they are in the Champions League. Obviously, a beaten finalist a couple of years ago, but the form in the last couple of matches, they played okay against Bayern Munich at the weekend. They drew with Leipzig, but a great win against Bilbao. What a brilliant win that was! And then that 4-4 draw. They've scored 8 goals in 2 matches, conceded 5. So I was hoping that when we looked at the weather, that it was going to be snow, torrential rain, awful stuff, because you've got to be a very, very brave man to go under in Dortmund matches this season in the Champions League, because there has been, they've scored 13 goals in 2 matches. So I'm going to leave this one to you, mate. I'm going to bow to your grace. Hopefully that your weather forecaster is better than my weather forecaster. So I just want to see what's going on here, but I hope that you're all right.
Yeah, AccuWeather, it is raining there now. It's going to rain right until kickoff.
Yeah.
And I've got at least 60% chance of rain throughout the match, which is probably not as high as I'd want, but I suppose they've got to do these percentages to cover their asses, haven't they? A bit.
Yeah. I just hope that that weather forecast is right, because this is a Dortmund side that are just goal hungry and obviously got a very, very good centre forward. And I think if you're looking at a prop bet, but he would be the man tonight. But I just feel that you're, if you're telling me the weather's bad, I'm sticking with the weather bad. I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to go against you, Stephen. This one, I'm going to go with your weather forecast.
I'm going against the money though. 98% of the money's on the over for this game, and 59% of the money is on Borussia Dortmund. Both teams score. Yes, has hit in each of FC Copenhagen's last 5 Champions League matches, so I'm going against that as well. And the Dortmund trend for overs in the Champions League. So I don't think Copenhagen will necessarily score in the game. Actually, with the amount of missings they've got, big man Cornelius is definitely ruled out. Who I've said before, I think he's a great unit. Abdul Hamid Bunyamin looking at the corners for this game. Good luck with that one. I didn't actually look into the stats for that or the styles, but if you've got a great play there, then they're so very much the very best of luck. Sorry. Okay. Next match. I like the away team here, Nigel. I really do. Inter Milan at Union Saint-Gilloise. Union, who lost heavily against Newcastle recently, and lost their manager as well, of course. So, I mean, based on that, if Newcastle come here and do a job on them, surely Inter, who are starting to find form now, it must be said, can come here and have a good start to the Champions League as well. I was a bit surprised to see minus 143 on possibly still the best side in Italy on paper, at least.
Yeah, I mean, we've been quite strong on this show for the last couple of years on Inter Milan, and Union obviously are a side that were brilliant in their opening game and come back down with a huge bump against Newcastle. That was a really, really disappointing performance after winning 3-1 against PSV. Inter Milan are just tried and tested. They know this format. They know what they've got to do. Again, worried about the weekend match against Napoli, which is a bit of a concern. But at this moment in time, I think they're on different levels to them. And they've got a striker in form. You know, we're talking about strikers in form across the world at the moment. Lautaro Martinez is in great form. And I like him to score here at any time, plus 104, one of my best bets. I do like Inter Milan to win, but I do think minus 155 is a little bit of a short price. They're without Thuram tonight, which is a blow for Inter, but they have Bonnet, Esposito as well, and they have this man Martinez who's banging form and will be on penalty kicks, I believe. So plus 104, Martinez to score at any time would be my bet tonight. I'd expect them to win, Inter. But at that price, I think you're much better to take the man in form to get you the goal rather than go with them on the money line. But you could bet it. You could do a same game parlay Inter to win and Martinez to score, something like that. But I like your thought process here. I think probably the better way, if you're going to think they're going to win, is minus 0.75 on the Asian handicap. Obviously, if they win by 1, you get half. If exactly Mourinho, you only cash half of it. But I'm slightly concerned about the Napoli match. That would be a worry for me. But I do think Lautaro Martinez tonight is carrying all the hopes for Inter. And I think he's in great form and I think he'll score.
Yeah, they've been back here actually to now minus 155 on the money line. In that case, I would agree the minus 0.75 handicap at minus 121. That's the better bet now for the game. I also like Inter win to nil actually at plus 150. They have tightened up a lot more since the early phases of the season. 90% of the money's on Inter Milan. And more money for the under here, 61% of the money on the under, which is probably not a big surprise actually with the manager in that upcoming game. Perhaps 2-0 into Milan is what I am saying here is the most likely.
Lautaro
outcome.
Martinez to score will be lovely. That'll do me.
There you go. That's exactly what we want from that one. Let's a couple of cracking games to finish actually on the card here. Villarreal against Man City. Man City. Minus 159 favourites away from home in Spain. Villarreal side who are quite a plucky outfit, no mugs whatsoever, plus 400 here. Man City have been more machine-like this season, Nigel, and can probably be back with a bit more confidence in this sort of game at minus 159 compared to perhaps last season.
Oh yeah, without question. I mean, they've been great this season defensively. They look good as well, and obviously the main man Haaland is banging goals in for fun, and that is where I'm heading here. I mean, it's not the most obvious bet in the world, but we've spoken about it in depth on the European show with yourself and James and Dan. Yesterday, I did a show with Neil Chang on the Betting Weekly Dojo where we looked at the stats of Haaland, Kane, and Mbappe this season, and it's just the prices that are going off aren't right. I mean, Haaland this year, 13 matches, 23 goals. Only failed to score in 1 match in all competitions. 2 or more goals in 7 of 13 and 2 hat-tricks in that period of time. Tonight, he's minus 134 to score any time. On his season stats so far, he's a 92% chance to score every time he goes to the pitch. 2 or more, plus 340 with Bet Rivers. It's a 53% chance this season that Haaland scores 2 or more. And to get a hat-trick, 13-1 you can get with Bet Rivers. It's a 15% chance this season. Obviously, there is the thought process that if they're winning, that Haaland comes off, and that's been putting us off for years about Haaland. But he's been playing a lot of football this season. He did have a little bit of a knock though in training. I saw a video come out of the merging. He knocked into Calvin Phillips and had a little bit of a knock. And you've got to protect this guy because if there's any problem for him, then it's obviously a huge problem for Manchester City to win the title. I mean, his goal scoring stats are just absolutely unbelievable, as we all know. And you can still get like minus 134. This weekend, he's minus 105 to score. I mean, when is the market going to wake up that this guy is just on fire and there's top goal scorers across European football in the likes of Harry Kane and Mbappe, who just score goals, and there is a big price differential. I mean, I just can't look past him. I think if they score 2 goals, which the market has them in for, then it's got to be Haaland. Haaland's got to score in these matches. I'm just trying to get you his record. So this is just to put this into context, right? Haaland in all his whole career has played 196 matches, and he scored 189 goals in 196 matches. And you can get him at, just slightly under even money every time he takes to the pitch in a football match away from home. It's phenomenal. And just all the mathematics points to Haaland, 2 or more points to Haaland. The guy is on fire. He's in the form of his life. Villarreal for a very tough night tonight. And Haaland, I think, will be on the score sheet.
Yeah, I mean, I've got nothing more to add. I think this is a great bet, minus 134 with Bet Rivers. It's a massive dangling carrot. Plus 330 for that 2 or more goals is a huge price considering his record this season. He is 12-1 for the hat-trick. And most people in chat are very, very interested in this bet as well, Nigel. Sometimes just don't overthink it, right?
I think the trouble is with these markets that you think to yourself, right, okay, the market's got to catch up. He's going to have a bad run of form. But since he signed for Salzburg in 2020, I mean, 5 years, he just scores a goal a game. You got 5 years worth of records on him. I mean, obviously he doesn't score a goal a game because he scores 2 in 1, 3 in 1, and 4 in other. But his goal per game ratio is absolutely incredible, and it's not going to change. And I don't think he's even at his peak. He's only 25. You think about it.
He's a monster.
It's frightening.
Yeah, he's incredible. It's Haaland. What a beast. For what it's worth, I do think Man City win this game. I also got a lean on the -1 Asian handicap for Man City here at plus money, actually, at plus 110. But I think Haaland, that is probably the better bet for the game for sure. And the money it has been on Manchester City, no surprise, 93% of it, with 90% of the tickets and also 92% of the money on the over. An interesting stat from producer Troy: both teams score, yes, has hit in 12 of Man City's last 14 Champions League away matches. But I will say it's a slightly different looking Man City this season. They seem more controlled. They seem more secure at the back. So we're a little bit wary of that head-to-head, but it is a trend that has been ongoing for about a couple of years now. The final Champions League match for us to discuss, Newcastle against Benfica. St. James's Park will be roaring here. Jose Mourinho comes to town. Not a venue he's actually had a great record at in his career. Newcastle have drifted actually to -167 now, Nigel. That was the first question I was going to ask you here. Would you have them at this minus money price against a sort of Jose Mourinho-led opposition who gave Chelsea a decent game at Stamford Bridge?
I wouldn't be betting Newcastle at -167. No, that I wouldn't at all. There was a huge market move for them when they played Barcelona. They went off big favourites almost, didn't they, in that match? Biggest move of the season, and the market got it completely wrong. This is a Benfica side that since Mourinho's come in, he's changed around and has been very, very much Mourinho. In the opening match, obviously, he played Chelsea. It was a 1-0 win for Chelsea. Benfica was defensively strong. The following week, he had a massive match against Porto. It was a 0-0 draw. And last week in the Cup, he won 2-0, got the job done and took everybody off. This Eddie Howe is quite a pragmatic coach as well. So this, to me, looks like an under 2.5 goals market. And I can't believe that the under 2.5 goals is plus 115. I think that's a cracking price. Probably one of my best bets of the night, actually, under 2.5 goals in this match. And also, I've mentioned it before. You've mentioned it before. I really like Walter as a striker for Newcastle. Full of confidence, coming running. He's got on pens as well. He's -103 to score tonight. If you think Newcastle are going to win, you've got to be reliant on Walter Marder. I think he could become like a very, very popular market on the goal scoring bets at the moment at that kind of price. In Premier League games, you start at +130, +140. In Champions League at home, -103 around the even money mark. He could be a very popular bet. But I do think this is low scoring. Mourinho will have a tactic. He'll try to frustrate. He'll try to be tenacious in their tackles and be in the face of Newcastle. The crowd will be absolutely up for it. Mourinho will thrive on it. and I think he'll have a game plan to stifle Newcastle, who at this moment in time aren't playing well. Obviously, they did well against Union at the last match against Union, but since they returned from the break, I mean, they haven't been great. You know, a bad defeat against Brighton, and they're in and out this season, very inconsistent. But I think this is low scoring. My best bet of the night, actually, left it to the last bit. I think the plus money on under 2.5 goals here is the best bet of the evening.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is probably the joint best bet of the day with Inter there, under 2.75 line for me again, which is at -110, -110, I think. I'll have to check again, but I'll leave you with some quotes here because there was a match, Porto against Benfica recently, and Mourinho just went and parked the bus. The Porto defender, Jan Bednarek, placed the blame squarely at the opponents and accused Mourinho's side of not playing for a win at all. They just came here to survive, just wanting to defend and slow the game down as much as possible for the match. We had an unlucky day and we deserve more, and that's part of football. But we blame basically blaming Jose Mourinho. That's exactly what he's going to do here.
Exactly what he's going to do there.
But yeah, I wonder if, do you know what? 1-0 Newcastle, Nick Voltemada. That wouldn't be a shock, would it?
Penalty, 1-0.
Yeah.
Mourinho sent off. It's like that. It's got that kind of look at 1-0 Newcastle win. But I do think I'm very surprised that there's a lot of people who quite like over 2.5 goals here, and both teams score. And I'm surprised at the price. I mean, Eddie Howe against Jose Mourinho is a match that you just think you've got to be on the unders. And I think to get plus money is a decent price.
-109 for under 2.75 goals. You like the plus money for under 2.5. Quite a lot in chat here. I actually do like the under. I think Ming Chung at the top of the show, Duncan, Byron liking the under as well. Effie liking the under as well. My goodness me. Both teams score no. Byron's putting up at plus 102 in addition to that. 59% of the money is on the over, but that's not a big amount at all. It suggests is actually quite a weak favourite. Newcastle only 69% of the money as well. So bettors are a bit dubious about them. That is the Champions League cover. There is a championship card, by the way, for those who are interested. I'll just remind people of the teams in action and the odds. 46-game season, of course, in the championship. It's hectic times. Coventry City -132 there away at Portsmouth. They are going great guns, Nigel. I'm sure they'll be a popular bet tonight. Have any quick bets in the championship to advise? What do you think about Coventry? -132?
Well, Portsmouth at home have always got fantastic support. They can pull off a shock. I think the one bet that I would probably give you if I was going to, I haven't had a bet actually, to be honest with you, but I would look at, I think Sheffield United could be interesting tonight on the draw no bet market. Obviously, Chris Wilder's come back for a third time. Blackburn Rovers are a side that are struggling at this moment in time. Sheffield United are underperforming, but they had their first win of the season last time out. I think Sheffield United on the draw no bet could be the way I would go here. I think Derby County could do well against Norwich, but Norwich's away form has been good. The home they've been really poor. But other than that, I think it's a tricky looking card. I mean, this league is very, very hard to call. Very, very hard to call. But I think that Sheffield United might show their credentials now and move up the table. They're a lot better than what their early form would suggest. And at Blackburn Rovers, that could be a price that you might look at as a big price.
I backed Blackburn to be relegated at the start of the season. I still think I'm alive with that one. Something hasn't been right ever since the match that they probably would have beaten Ipswich, wouldn't they? And they've got to get that match replayed now. That's got to be playing on their minds. That hasn't a 1-0 Sheffield United written all over it. That just does. Wilder goes there, does a job. I'm surprised at the dog. Draw
no bet plus money is a decent price.
Yeah,
but I mean, I haven't really looked at it, to be honest with you, Steve. But I do think that Sheffield United may be a team that we may have a rebase on in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Once they've got that win.
Give us a reminder of your best plays today, then, Nigel. On the Champions League.
I'm going to go for 3 bets. I'm going to go for Barcelona. These are all my probably better ones. I'm going to go for Barcelona to win 0 in the early kickoff in their first match when they play at home to Olympiakos. Olympiakos just do not score goals and on the road are pretty poor. I'm going to go for Bayer Leverkusen, Paris Saint-Germain over 3 on the Asian handicap. I like that. And I'm going to go for Haaland to score at any time, which is an obvious one. And finally, Newcastle with Benfica under 2.5 goals at plus 115. I think that's the best bet of the night.
Yeah, my best 3 bets. Inter -0.75, handicap -121. Newcastle, Benfica under 2.75 goals at -109. And the brave one is for me the Copenhagen Dortmund under 2.75 goals at -121 is my third best bet.
In that torrential rain.
Let's see.
Absolutely
I'm gonna
torrential
watch
rain.
that
I hope you're right. I looked at mine. It said light showers, light breeze, 15 degrees. I would have done with my t-shirt, but we'll find out.
Watch someone make a mistake now in the rain and slip and cost me a goal. Anyway, thanks for that, Nigel. Enjoyed that show as ever. Really appreciate everyone who came in live or on demand. So many comments across the board. Try to go through as many as we could on the screen there, but really appreciate you all tuning in. So many, and do remember to hit the like button. Anyone new, hit the subscribe button as well. We've got the Betting Weekly newsletter. In addition, here, do sign up for free 2 newsletters a week, including the latest one, which will come out on Friday into your inbox, the Betting Weekly Insider. So yeah, that is it for today, Nigel. Best of luck with all those plays.
Good luck. Good luck, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Take care.
As I keep saying, please hit that subscribe button, join in the channel. Thank you.
Goodbye, all.